Hey there everybody, my name is George, I'm the founder here at Extension Ecom, and today we're going to be talking about how to grow your Amazon revenue through the Amazon marketing funnel. And before we do that, we need to talk about how to grow revenue on Amazon generally. So let's talk about how sales are produced. Well, first of all, you take the number of products that have been purchased and you multiply it by the price of the product, and that's your sales, right? Now, in order to get people to buy products, you need to market the product, which is going to attract people to your listing and convince them to purchase. And you need to be able to fulfill on that product, just ensuring that customers can actually receive the product from you. Now, today we're going to focus on the marketing side of the equation, which really breaks down into being visible, getting clicks, and getting conversions. So you're going to become visible through PPC and SEO. PPC, you're going to pay to be visible on Amazon, and SEO, you're going to appear on Amazon organically for free. Then you need to have an optimized listing that's going to get a click and it's going to get a conversion. And that's the portion of the marketing funnel that we're going to focus on today. But if you have this dialed in and you're like, hey man, my marketing's perfect, I've done everything when it comes to ads and listing optimization and I can't grow, you might have an issue with fulfillment, which comes down to inventory and catalog management. First of all, you need to be in stock in FBA at all times. There's a significant conversion rate drop off going from FBA to FBM. And from a catalog perspective, you need to make sure your ACEs are not suspended. You need to make sure you don't have any frequently returned badges. You need to make sure that you're winning the buy box. You need to make sure you have good ratings and reviews, etc., etc., etc. So if we want to grow on Amazon, we need more people to visit our product detail page. We need more people to purchase. We need to have the product to ship them, and we need to keep everything organized on the back end. Now let's jump into the marketing funnel and focus on this half of the equation.
Hey there, everybody. I just wanted to jump in real quick and let you all know that we actually do this all day, every day as an agency. We have over 40 active clients that have generated over $100 million in the trailing 12 months on Amazon. And if you want our support scaling your Amazon business, feel free to click the link in the description below, go over to our website and book a call there. I look forward to chatting with you. And with that being said, let's jump back into the video.
So here's the broad general marketing funnel, and then we'll niche it down to PPC, SEO, and creative. So generally speaking, the marketing funnel on Amazon breaks into consideration, purchase, and loyalty. Customers first consider you, then they'll become loyal, right? So consideration are shoppers looking in your market, but not for your exact product at this time. And we want to be visible here for two reasons. First, they might still buy from us right now. And second, they might buy from us in the future. However, they can't do either if they don't know who we are. Then you have the purchase portion of the funnel, which Amazon really accelerates for you. Off Amazon, you do need to get people to your website, but on Amazon, people are already searching. So you can skip the consideration portion of the funnel a majority of the time and go straight to the purchase funnel. And that is what you should be doing. Now in the purchase portion of the funnel, shoppers are looking for your exact product. Now those shoppers will buy immediately if they're presented with a quality detail page at the right price. And we need to have an always on approach here to ensure we're visible and driving sales to these shoppers if we want to grow. And finally, we have the loyalty portion, and these are shoppers who love your products. And we need to be visible here so shoppers can easily find and buy your products. And if they cannot find you, they will buy from someone else. Now let's break it down into PPC, SEO, and creative. So for PPC, you want to start from the bottom up. First of all, you want to make sure that you just have branded tactics in place to protect your detail pages in the event that people are searching for you, they can find you and not your competitors. In the event that a competitor does show up, or if competitors are taking everything and they have a significantly lower price point than you, you will lose your sales. We had a client of ours who got price cut by about $100 by a competitor selling literally the exact same thing, and their sales tanked by about 50% overnight. And it wasn't until that competitor fully sold through that inventory and then didn't relist, probably because they were priced so low that they couldn't make any money and they just were selling through the inventory. But until they ended up selling through, that customer sales did not recover. And it wasn't like that competitor was stealing all the sales from generic non-branded terms. They were strictly appearing top of search on our clients' branded terms and stealing all of the sales. Because if a customer can buy a product for $100 less and it's the same exact product, they're not going to be super loyal. So you need to make sure you have your loyalty tactics dialed in. Now, your loyalty tactics should be about 10% of spend, unless you're going through a situation that our customer was going through, in which case you might want to ramp it up to play more defense. Then when it comes to the purchase portion of the funnel, this is where you should be spending 60 to 90% of your cash, especially if you're a small business. Small businesses need cash flow and profit. You can't start in the upper funnel because the upper funnel isn't going to drive immediate return. Now, for this, you want to target exact keywords that you want to win at all times within Sponsored Products Exact. You want to target keywords that you want anyone searching for. So similar to the ones that you want to always win on, there's going to be so many searches that you just don't know that people are going to make that Helium 10 is not going to catch. Put those on Phrase, right? And Phrase is going to take it from dog deodorizing spray to dog deodorizing spray for smelly dogs. You want to use your auto campaigns at a low CPC. You want to use your ACE in targeting, going after competitors that have an inferior product to you in ratings and reviews, or maybe they're priced higher supplier, etc. And then you can do remarketing for high AOV products, things that cost a lot of cash, right? Think about the shopper who's going to buy $1,000 product versus a $20 product. $20 product, you're just going to buy right away. You don't really care that much. In the event that it's bad, you could just return it. $1,000 product though, you're going to do significantly more research. That's a pretty big upfront purchase. Yes, you could still return it, but it's less likely. And those shoppers are going to make much more logical decisions. And that buying cycle is going to take 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. So remarketing there can be very valuable and provide a good return. And then you have the consideration portion of the funnel. Now, the consideration portion of the funnel within search is going to break down into sponsored products broad targeting, right? So you could go from dog spray to dog spray deodorizer perfume. Maybe your dog spray is for deodorizer perfume, or maybe it's for, behavior, right? You spray them if they're misbehaving. So those are two completely different things. Now, a portion of the people searching for dog spray will want your product, but a portion of them won't. But it's going to be a much larger market than the niche down long tail keywords, which will help you grow. Again, you don't want to start here if you're a smaller business. You want to graduate here. Now, if you're a bigger business, you likely need to be capitalizing here and even further up the funnel than this. You also have sponsored brands and sponsored brands video, and you want to put those on top converting keywords because that's going to help you build brand recognition within the market. The return is going to be lower because these are very clearly ads. Sponsored brands is like a billboard, and sponsored brands video is the only video on the search results. It's going to capture the shopper's eye, get a high click-through rate, but shoppers know those are ads and they're less likely to buy. And then you can use SD contextual targeting to target competitor ASINs that you have a competitive advantage over. Again, same exact ones you're doing in sponsored products, graduate the top performers, put them on sponsored display. Now, this is just my recommended funnel. There's going to be other campaigns. And for market leaders, I once supported a market leader in the pet niche that was spending over $20,000 per month within streaming TV. That would be considered awareness, right? And it might make sense for them, but there's no ROI tied to it. You're just looking at non-ad attributed branded search. And it paid off very well. They went from doing $50,000 days to $100,000 days to $150,000 days to $200,000 days overnight in Q. From all of the streaming TV they did prior, their branded search skyrocketed. People weren't even looking within their specific niche. They were just looking for them. So upper funnel tactics do work. I'm not against them. It's just making sure that you align the tactics you're using compared to your business size. Now, if you're below 7 figures, you really want to focus on the purchase funnel and a little bit of loyalty. If you're trying to bridge the gap from 7 figures to 8 figures, you want to focus on these 3 buckets: loyalty, purchase, and consideration. And if you're 8 figures and above, you really want to start focusing on upper funnel tactics, leveraging things such as, DSP, things such as streaming TV. And I'd say you can even niche that down to if you're doing 5, 6, 7, 8 million a month, you might want to start considering it, depending on the quantity of search volume within your market, right? If the search volume within your market is massive, you can grow to 8 figures plus easily just by capturing the demand. If the search volume within your market is low, then you need to go out and start creating demand, which DSP and streaming TV is great for. Now, when it comes to the marketing funnel with SEO, you want to start top down. It's actually the inverse. You want to cast the widest possible net initially, and you want to see what sticks that you can then rank for, and then you want to niche down to rank better. So for consideration, you really want to start here, and you want to index for about 800 keywords before you progress into purchase. Now, you want to appear on as many relevant keywords as possible. So you want to take the top 10 organically ranked competitor ASINs within your niche, and you want to identify what are the highest search volume keywords that all of them appear on. And you want to make sure you maximize your listing using those words in your titles, your bullets, your description, your generic keywords, and your alt text. Now, once your listing's at 800 keywords, then you want to focus on ranking. So now you want to identify roughly 3 keywords that you can rank top of search for organically, and you will look at anything that's like 20 to 50, like in terms of rank, that has a decent amount of search volume, right? Don't go after something with 50 searches a month. You want to go after things with like 1,000, 1,500, and you want to rank on those, because if you rank on those, you're going to get more organic sales, and you can take that cash flow and you can funnel into PPC, and you can funnel it into trying to rank on broader terms, right? 2,000 search volume, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, etc. Loyalty, don't really worry about this. Make sure you're brand registered. Include your brand name at the beginning of your title. Don't add it into every bullet, generic, alt, etc. For the loyalty, you're basically always going to appear there. Just Amazon's going to set you up for success. Now, you don't appear on the sponsored products listings or the sponsored brands video organically. So make sure you are keeping an eye on those in the event that competitors are taking them over and you're losing sales because of it. But also don't overinvest in brand in the event that competitors aren't. Now, you also have the marketing funnel within creative, and you need to appeal to everything within the marketing funnel so that you can capture all stages of the marketing funnel. So when it comes to consideration, you really want to educate people. This is going to be, again, for people that are shopping around, they weren't actually looking for your product, but they might buy. So you just need to clearly illustrate what your product does, how it works, who it's for, etc., and just make sure to answer any customer questions up front. And from a benefit standpoint, just clearly communicate all the outcomes that would emotionally resonate with your buyer's pain points or their goals, motivations, etc. And those two things are going to help those people in that consideration funnel move forward and make a purchase. If they're specifically looking for your product, you need to have unique selling points and social proof within your listing. So you want to clearly showcase what makes your product distinct and why these elements matter, and just say, hey, like, this is how we're different than everybody else. And for social proof, you really want to just build trust and credibility with that audience. So if they're comparing you to an exact competitor, same exact product, few dollars difference, they're gonna say, hey, this person has all these cool, unique things. I wanna move forward with them instead of this guy who looks like it's about the same thing and it doesn't do anything cool. And then lastly, loyalty. So you wanna talk about how it impacts lives long term. I've seen it done very well within like consumable products, right? Like you're gonna see the best results after 120 days. Well, 120 days is probably like 2 to 3 purchases. Maybe it's 1 to 2, right? But you just got a second or a third purchase, and then people build habits over a long time. So, if you get them with 2 purchases, you're likely to get them for 2 more. So it's really great for building loyalty. And then upsell and cross sell. So when you're selling non-consumables, upsell and cross sell is the name of the game. So here you want to make sure that you're consistently including other options for consumers to buy, because you're not going to buy a pet bed once a month. You're going to buy it once every 3 to 5 years. So then how do we cross sell all the other pet products that we have in order to drive sales across the board, right? That becomes what you want to do. So rather than just having your pet bed, you might want to have your pet bed and all the other pet accessories that you sell within your images or your A+ content or a cross-sell module, etc., so that you can drive additional sales. So overall, this is the marketing funnel on Amazon. You do need to customize what you focus on based on where you're at within your journey. Again, pre-7 figures, it's really all about purchase. To go from 7 to 8, it's really a combination of everything. And the ad solutions you choose depends on the search volume within your market. Small search volume, you're going to need to graduate to DSP and streaming TV quicker. Massive search volume, you really need to just nail the fundamentals. At all times, you want to be ranking better, and at all times, you want to be increasing your conversion rate. So thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, like, comment, and subscribe, and have a wonderful rest of your day.